Hello, ladies. Happy Wellness Wednesday. It is I, Aubrey Warwick, and I am coming at you in the comfort of my office. I am freezing cold. You might say, why don't you put on a shirt? No, I don't want to. I have my space heater on here. So every Wednesday, gals, if you are new to this group, I do a Facebook Live talking about some important topics. In this week, you know what? It was tough for me to think of a topic that I haven't covered lately that maybe kind of needed to be resurrected. I always say this: what once was a fact is no longer a fact. That happens a lot, doesn't it? Especially with all the crazy things out there in the world of nutrition, fitness. You know what? You know what stays consistent is mindset. And I've been calling it mind shift. How do you shift your mind and make your thoughts believe your reality? Because oftentimes we have practiced our whole life to believe a reality that is negative. What the heck? It's part of the human condition. Well, without further ado, I wanted to get to know you guys. Drop in the comments one of the hats that you wear, okay? Let's say, for example, what's your career? Are you a mom? Are you a business owner? Are you, a daredevil? Something like that describes you. I want to get to know you a little bit better here. I'm a TV fitness expert. I am a OCB bikini pro, and my main bread and butter, what I love to do is help women fall in love with who they see in the mirror. I'm a transformation coach, guys. And it's important to know that I'm holding a independent case study here. I'm looking for 10 women who have not yet experienced P10 or my Perfect 10 challenge. Maybe you started it, didn't finish it, or maybe you've just been kind of waiting in the wings, seeing like, is this for me? I don't know about this BS. I'd love to work with you for free for 10 days and to make my program better, which, by the way, each time I launch Perfect 10, that is my goal. So this week, I will have a new paint job on the Perfect 10. If you want a copy of Perfect 10, you can put P10 me in the comments, but I need you to register for the next P10 event, because here's the deal. We want that free thing, but I want you to show up on March 18th through the live or through the replay so I can tell you what the updates are. And you might be like, well, duh, Aubrey, I can read. I do know that. But I also know that in today's busy world, it is really helpful to put things on your calendar and to have a coach guiding you. And that is where the biggest success stories lie. All right, is to have somebody who has your back. Every successful coach has a coach, and no matter what field they're in, right? So drop that in the comments. You got either the hat that you wear today, as well as if you're ready to be P10'd. If you do want to be a part of this independent case study and work with me for free for 10 days and do the Perfect 10, then my new up-leveled version, then you got to message me. Now, for those of you who have done Perfect 10 before, something that is very special about it is our morning ritual. And I'm going to be clarifying what to do after Perfect 10 when that morning ritual becomes maybe exhausted. All right, but I digress. Let's get into it. So I wanted to print out my blog that I posted yesterday, and a lot of people commented on it. So I thought, you know what, let's talk about eating, training, and traveling, and how you balance those things on the road. Because let's face it, airport food sucks. It's expensive, and you just feel like crap, right? Think about, going through the airport scanners, like the radiation that you get, flying, the EMFs that you get, any of the chemicals they use to spray on the planes to disinfect it. There is a lot of stuff that happens when you travel that make you not feel right. They are hormonal disruptors, essentially. So it is really important to try to offset some of these travel issues with eating as healthy as you can, but also packing things that are really, really helpful. So I want you to think about this. You want to pack like a pro. That's my number one tip here. Things that I always pack when I am traveling. Now, mind you, it does go through the airport scanner and everything, but you just gotta like kiss that up to God. So whatever. So I do pack my protein powder, and I might have to portion it out in either plastic baggies, because I mean glass containers would be great, but how are you getting all that on the plane, right? Or even if you're driving somewhere, that would be even better. But I digress. So I do portion it out just because it's easier to pack and keep flat. I typically, if you do put it in your carry-on, it is going to get flagged because it's like a white powdery substance. They won't throw it away typically, but they will question it. All right. I also pack things like healthy fats. If you are good with nuts, then you could pack your whatever nut that you like. Go for organic, right? They could be roasted, whatever. That's another conversation for another day, which nuts to eat. I do pack my Archer Farms or Chomps dried meats, okay? Beef jerkies, that sort of thing. And I really get the plain Jane things, meaning it doesn't have added sugars to it, because chances are on vacation or traveling, there's going to be all these other hidden gems, right, in air quotes, that you're going to have to deal with. So again, I'm trying to offset some of the things from traveling. I do pack my important supplements, like my probiotic and a digestive enzyme, depending on what is on your supplement list. Again, another great conversation for another day. You want to really have your go-tos, knowing like your digestive system might be off. I don't know about you guys, but I don't go to the bathroom very well when I travel. I have stage fright. And I really have not figured out how to get through that, because it's more of a mental thing. I kind of like to go, number 2, at my own house, right? Unless you can pack your squatty potty, which would be great. Okay, but not conducive. All right. Anyway, glucose control. Have you guys ever heard of these different supplements? There's a supplement by a company called Revive. It is a glucose support supplement that is also a nutrient partitioning agent. A good friend of mine recommended it to me. And this can be something helpful when you have like a carb heavy meal or a high sugary meal. But you know what I do? I've done in the past that I can offset this with things like taking a shot of apple cider vinegar. What it essentially is doing is raising the hydrochloric acid in your stomach, better for digestion, and it can help stabilize blood sugar levels. Okay. The other things that I pack that are great biohacks, wine filters. So typically, like if you are a wine drinker, I get Dry Farms wine, and it's great. It's great quality, low to no sulfites, 1 gram of sugar per bottle, all that good stuff. But I can't pack my Dry Farm wine, so I will pack wine filters. If I go out to a restaurant, you can put the little wine filter. It looks like a tea bag. Get these suckers on Amazon, and it will help negate some of the sulfites. Essentially, it is food grade hydrogen peroxide. So there's a little chemical reaction that takes place there, and that can be quite helpful to prohibit hangovers. Now, there's some other supplements on the market too called ZBiotics. It's a probiotic enzyme, or it's an enzyme rather, that helps you metabolize alcohol better, prevent hangovers. There's also something called Gluten Guardian. Sorry, I have not taken Gluten Guardian because I don't feel that I need it. But if you feel like you're so sensitive to gluten, this could also help with your digestive system. Now, general rule of thumb, if we got to take all these supplements because we're eating something or drinking something, maybe just don't do it. Find an alternative, right? Which maybe that's what I should tell you about all my fun swaps that I do as well at some point. So you let me know. All right, let's talk about restaurant hacks. This is my number 2 point, and how to order like a lady boss. All right, so this is my general rule of thumb, and I always learn from this. Just when I think whatever the food is on the menu, like, oh my gosh, it talks about, let's say, the other day I was ordering something, and I don't do chicken a lot. Believe it or not, the last 2 times I went out, I was eating chicken. What? Who am I? Because it said on the menu, it was like Amish chicken, and honestly, they didn't have any other options that was good. So it was talking about, I had to ask if it was fried. Also, big thing that I learned, some of these restaurants now, they just love to go crazy with the glazes. There's a restaurant behind my house. I love it. It's called the Fire Pit, but they overdo it when it comes to sauces and glazes. And I learned that, unfortunately, the hard way. So start to ask questions to say, hey, can you describe to me, how it's prepared? Oftentimes, foods are also prepared with vegetable oil or canola oil, which these oils are rancid and are big hormonal disruptors, amongst other things. So if you're out, to say, hey, could you cook my food in butter? What? Isn't that a crazy concept? Butter's coming back? Oh, it's been back, baby. Yeah, so that's an easy one. But ask more questions and just do it. I used to say, hey, I'm going to be your pain in the butt customer. And I stopped saying that. I just said, ooh, tell me more. Because a lot of times servers, they get excited, right? And in the restaurant business, you want to be excited about the experience that you're having. So ask them lots of questions on how your food is prepared. Now, the other thing that I like to do when I travel, let's say it is for vacation, but I don't want to come back and feel like, oh my Lord, I'm embarrassed to go to the gym now because I feel like I look like a different person. Like people when they go on a cruise and it's just complete gluttony. Guys, it is hard to be a slim individual in America, but guess what? There's ways to do it. And that's what we're talking about now. So let's say, for example, you do want to have your pancakes and eat them too. You do want to have the waffles because for the love of the Lord in heaven, you have not had a waffle a long time. And you keep dreaming about it. You keep that food fantasy going. It is time to make that fantasy a reality. So split it, right? Or some people really like the 3-bite method. And you know why I like this? A couple reasons. It's a test. It's been a test for me. Like, okay, Aubrey, can I just see if I can stop at 3 bites? So it has been a mind shift for me because there was a point in my life that I couldn't stop at 3 bites. I just eat the whole damn thing. I was an all or nothing type of gal. Drop in the comments if you are struggling identifying still as the all or nothing type of girl. I used to be that girl. Now, how have I changed? Well, couple things. The mind shift for me was, Aubrey, it's not going to taste any different after 3 bites. And then I stopped beating myself up. These foods, they release dopamine, right? It's like, oh, wow, that feels so good. That tastes so good, the experience. And they're meant to be kind of addictive. A lot of foods are called comfort foods for a reason. So you can kind of, outsmart yourself and say, I know this. Let's see if I can use some deep breaths and take pause so I'm not going off the rails. Now, the other thing is just basic physiology, biology, guys. Like, make sure you're not starving going into a restaurant. So this is why it's really helpful to pack these different things when you travel. Heck, if you're driving and traveling somewhere, then you're good. Pack your cooler bag, go bananas. I get, this last weekend, we went to Columbus. So I packaged up my salmon burgers. I cooked them in an air fryer, put them in a cooler. I measured out my rice. I got my dried meats. I got my fruit. Easy grab and go things. I wasn't making a quiche and packing it up. If you can do that though, you can make like your quiche muffins or something, but I don't do that. I'm just kind of your plain Jane. I'm Steve Jobs right now with this, but believe me, when I retire, I am going to be the next like super duper healthy Rachel Ray. All right, here we go. Now, protein-based dishes are always a great go-to. I think we know that, but if we're choosing things that are very carb heavy, they are going to make us sleepy. And it's not that they are bad. It's just you ask yourself, is this getting me one step closer to my goal? So let me tell you something. I had a conversation with my husband today. I am currently training for another bikini show. I have been able to rewire my brain over the last 2 years to a person that I had to get to know again. And I look back at the 2024 version of me and I was like, wow, holy crap. I put in the work. It didn't feel like work. It just felt like I was meant to choose actions that were conducive for my most desired outcome. So here's the deal. Let's say my coach tells me, hey, Aubrey, you're right on point. You know what? Go out and celebrate, eat whatever you want, drink some alcohol. Most people would say, all right, great, that you're ahead of the curve. Go out and have that festive eating occasion and then get right back on track the other day or the next day. You know why I don't take that hall pass? Is because I thought, what is that going to do? It's going to feel wonderful in the moment, but it's a swinging pendulum. Here comes my Fraggle Rock pen. It's a swinging pendulum. So let's say I make that choice. I party like a rock star. The next day, how am I going to feel? Is that going to make me feel accomplished, that I am getting one step closer to my goal? The short answer is no. Now, please know there are time and place for all that stuff. However, I am in the stretch. I am in a couple weeks where it's like this is a temporary thing. So for example, my clients who are listening, and even if you're not a current client of mine, I want you to listen up anyway. Lean in. Put the ear emoji. Drop the ear emoji in the comment. Lean in. Let's say right now you are really, really struggling with this concept, right? Where it's like, well, I don't want to deprive myself, or there's a list of shit. Whenever you start to make changes, all these different things start to bubble up, right? And your body will fight you for a little bit. However, it is temporary. Oftentimes people say, well, I don't want to track my macros. I don't want to, deprive myself. I want to do it my way. Well, that version of your way has not been getting you to your goals. So just for a short period of time, and by short, I could mean, 10 days, like perfect 10. Take off a little bite-sized amount. 10 days. Where, what if you go all in for 10 days to see what happens? Yeah, your body's going to change. What if you're rewiring your brain in those 10 days? And then you prove to yourself that you can do hard things and you can lean in to the uncomfortability of situations like this. And what that has taught me too, I tell people, all right, you've been at this, let's say a couple of my clients, they've been at it for maybe 3 months. Maybe they're getting frustrated, right? Maybe this has been you. I've been doing this for a whole month and I haven't had any changes. Well, how long have you been doing your way? Has it been a month? And I think I'm going to say liar, liar, pants on fire. If you have truly, truly changed your behaviors, your habits, your mentality for 30 days, something's going to change. Don't lie to yourself. Now, sometimes we cut ourselves off at the knees. We say, well, it's not good enough. Bitch. I'm going to say bitch. Stop being a bitch to yourself. Okay? You know why I'm saying bitch lately? Because everybody says bro, and I hate it. I hate it. So, anyway, here we go. Now, let's talk about cocktails. I am the girl, believe me, who loves a great cocktail. And over the years, the cocktails, they just started to not love me back. I love a great gin and tonic. I used to be such a tequila girl, margarita, Mad Max, hello, you will find me there every weekend. But what happened was, it wasn't conducive for my goals. It was killing my gains. And alcohol, like any numbing agent, is only good in the moment. And I thought, Aubrey, what are you numbing? So let's say when you are traveling, and it is for a celebratory thing. Because when I travel, I feel like there's always a reason for a cocktail, even if it's not like me celebrating. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going out to eat. I love a good cocktail. I associated going out to eat with cocktails or wine, okay? Maybe you're a beer drinker. So if you're still in that mode, get whatever drink you want, all right? And then ask about it again. Let's say there's some fun martini. My husband and I experienced this on Valentine's Day, that we went to this bourbon bar and they had like these fun like bourbon martini drinks. And I was like, that simple syrup that you have in there, can you just nix that? And believe me, they're already sweet. They're already intense. So you could go for like more of a booze forward type of drink. And you can also pack your own sweeteners, by the way. You could say, hey, no sweetener in it. You could pack your stevia, your Truvia. I always pack my electrolytes, things like Element, Isagenix Hydrate. I make Wellness Hydrated. There's a couple different things that I put there on my post, on my blog. So the last biohack I'm going to give you with that is you can try this, is to take activated charcoal with you on this trip. I did mention the ZBiotics. Activated charcoal can kind of absorb some of those toxins from the alcohol. You would want to take that in conjunction with your booze. But don't take it around any supplements because it will offset those supplements or medication. All right, let's talk about how you train while you travel. And this is another thing. Be resourceful. Take your bands. We've all heard that. But adopt the perfect 10 mentality. 10 squats, 10 push-ups, 10 crunches from the moment your feet hit the floor in the morning. You do your 10, 10, 10, and then maybe you do 10, 10, 10 after lunch, 10, 10, 10 after dinner. Start there. If you are struggling with your fitness as you travel, hotel gyms are great. Planet Fitness memberships are great. Make sure when you are traveling, I would say to get your workout in as early as you can before shit hits the fan for the rest of the day. If that is impossible, then you're going to have to make a gym date with yourself. And you want to do things that would create like a good ritual. As soon as you come into your hotel room, put on your workout clothes immediately, right? And make sure that you don't visit the hotel bar before you say, I'm going to go to the gym, because we both know that ain't going to happen. So one final thought on this. Travel and thrive. I'm reading from my blog. So eating well and training while traveling doesn't mean perfection, guys. It's literally impossible, right? But if you pack your essentials and if you plan to be prepared, you will plan to be successful. All right, guys, I did go off on a little bit of a tangent there. That was most present for me. Thanks for letting me join you from my office next to my space heater and just being so raw and real with you today. If you notice, I don't have my overhead lighting on. There's just something about it. I just like natural lighting, and I don't want it on. So thank you for looking at me and low-key lighting. And I feel like every Wellness Wednesday, I have this third eye pimple that loves to come up. So maybe it's a gut issue. Okay. All right, guys, I will look forward to talking to you soon. Make sure you comment below that you're getting registered for P10 on March the 18th. Ciao for now.